Imagine a world where the snows of Russia did not seal Napoleon Bonaparte's fate. A world where the Grande Armée, instead of retreating in tatters, marched triumphantly through a conquered Moscow. In our timeline, the disastrous Russian campaign of 1812 was the beginning of the end for Napoleon. But what if it had been his greatest victory? What if Napoleon had conquered Russia? This is the story of a world that could have been. In the winter of 1812, history held its breath. In our world, Napoleon's army was decimated by the brutal Russian winter, logistical collapse, and relentless guerrilla warfare. But in this alternate timeline, a few key factors changed. Napoleon, learning from past mistakes, launches his invasion earlier in the year with better supplied troops and specially designed winter gear. He forces a decisive battle early on, crushing the Russian army before they can retreat deep into their territory. Moscow falls, and with it, the will of the Russian nobles to resist. Tsar Alexander I is forced to abdicate, and a new pro-French government is installed. With Russia under his thumb, Napoleon's dominion over Europe is absolute. The Continental System, his economic blockade against Britain, is now complete. With no European trading partners, Britain's economy, once the powerhouse of the world, begins to crumble. The relentless coalitions that had plagued Napoleon for years dissolve. There is no one left to challenge him. From the shores of Portugal to the vast plains of Russia, a new European order emerges, one forged in the image of its French emperor. The consequences of this new reality are staggering. The Napoleonic Code, with its principles of meritocracy and legal equality, is implemented across the continent, sweeping away centuries of feudal tradition. French becomes the language of culture, commerce, and diplomacy. The Industrial Revolution, which in our timeline was born in Britain, is stifled. Instead, France becomes the center of innovation and progress. The 19th century unfolds not as a story of British imperial dominance, but of French-led European hegemony. The map of the world is redrawn. Without a powerful Britain to oppose them, French-led European powers carve up Africa and Asia, creating colonial empires that reflect this new balance of power. The United States, without the War of 1812, develops in a different direction, its westward expansion and relationship with Europe forever altered. But this new Napoleonic Europe is not without its challenges. Governing such a vast and diverse empire proves to be a monumental task. Nationalist sentiments, though suppressed, simmer beneath the surface in Germany, Spain, and even Russia. The question of succession looms large. Can the empire survive its creator? The death of Napoleon could plunge the continent into a new era of chaos and conflict. Yet the legacy of this alternate world is undeniable. A Europe united for a time under a single will, a world where the ideals of the French Revolution, for better or worse, were spread by the sword. So what if Napoleon had conquered Russia? The world would be a vastly different place. A world without a British Empire as we knew it, a world where the 19th and 20th centuries unfolded under a French shadow. It is a stark reminder of how a single event, a single campaign in the vastness of Russia, could have changed the course of history forever.